Round 3 qualifier in their respective alternative stripes. Red for Tyrone, dark green for Kildare. And here in St. Conleth's Park, we're going to pause for our Rán na Bhíon. It's going to be sung by Hannah Ryan from Newbridge, who is the Rosa Tralee contestant for Kildare. The history of Kildare and Tyrone is brief, to say the least, with only one previous clash in the championship up to now, and that was in the 2009 All-Ireland quarter-final in Croke Park, which Tyrone won. This is their third meeting this season, with the two previous encounters, one here in Newbridge and the league semi-final in Croke Park, both ending with Tyrone victories. This could turn out to be the battle of the full forwards, with former Footballer of the Year Stephen O'Neill returning, while Tomás O'Connor is named a full forward for the Lily Whites, also returns after a spell on the bench. Temperature is 25 degrees. It's going to be a testing evening for these footballers in terms of their fitness. Kevin McStay is with me. Joe McQuillan from County Cavan is the match referee. The team playing from left to right, which will be Tyrone in this first half, will be facing into the warm, hot, blinding sunshine. Wonderful atmosphere around Newbridge all afternoon. There was racing on in the Curragh, but all the talk around the streets was one thing: would Kildare beat Tyrone? It's do or die. It's the survival of the fittest. Can Kildare continue on their way in this championship? Johnny Doyle. Interesting that Aidan McCrory is on him. Lovely skill by Johnny Doyle, and Johnny Doyle has started Kildare on their voyage. What a wonderful start for Kildare, led by the veteran 35-year-old Johnny Doyle from Allenwood.
Well, it's the old solo dummy again. He pulled it off in the last round, and they bought it again, and lovely accuracy. Now that's a terrific start for Doyle, for his confidence and his team, and the home crowd, of course, will be lapping it up.
Kick out from Pascal McConnell. Referee blows his whistle for some pushing by Pádraig O'Neill. So free for Tyrone, taken quickly. Long ball will be delivered to Stephen O'Neill as quickly and as efficiently as possible. It'll be a testing evening for Peter Kelly, but he survived the first ball and won it well. Ono Flaherty to Pádraig O'Neill, laying it off for his Hugh McGrillen. Looking for a little bit of support. Paddy Brophy is there. You remember his spectacular goal against Dublin in the opening 10 minutes or so in Croke Park in the Leinster Championship. Joe McMahon, probably one of the most versatile footballers we have in the country, because sometimes he plays fullback, cornerback, sometimes wing forward. It's wherever Mickey Hart deems it necessary. Conor Clark, poor ball. Easily cut out on this occasion by Emmett Bolton. Backfires Peter Kelly. Daniel Flynn. Backfires Emmett Bolton again. Laid off fires the captain, Eamon Callaghan. In comes the challenge from Colm Kavanagh. Good work again by Callaghan. Kildare maintaining possession. They're still only inside their own half back line. Emmett Bolton lays it off fires Darrell Flynn. The long ball up first to Tomás O'Connor. First ball for the full forward, knocked away on this occasion by Aidan McCrory. Under pressure is Conor Clark. Getting a boot to it and knocking it out for his Niall Kelly. Calling for it outside is Pádraig O'Neill. Hitting this in, but it's wide of the target. Pascal McConnell from Newtown Stewart. Goalkeeper, of course, in 2005 when Tyrone won their second All-Ireland. Replaced Niall Morgan, who was still on crutches. I met him down at the dressing rooms a short while ago. He's still going to be out of action for the next 3 months. Kick out from McConnell. Comes down far as Matthew Donnelly. Available over this side is Ryan McKenna. Good work here by Darren McCurry, who scored 14 points over the last 2 matches in the qualifiers. That effort half blocked. Tyrone maintained possession, and the ball won by Stephen O'Neill. It's going to be one of the crucial battles this evening in Newbridge between Stephen O'Neill and Peter Kelly. At the moment, it's 1-1.
He's trying his best not to foul him. It is a great matchup. Kelly and O'Neill are really going to have a right shot at it, but you'd fancy McCurry here now.
Simple tap-over score by Darren McCurry. Has emerged onto this team over the last few months from Edendorf. Came on against Roscommon last year and scored 5 points. Tyrone gathered the possession with Emmett Bolton, retrieves it. Hugh McGrillen is available. Pádraig O'Neill is the next player to gather the possession, keeping it down the wing. Good work here by Niall Kelly, despite the attentions of Cathal McCarran. Good block down, comes out far as Eamon Callahan. Ball into space for Tomás Conor. What can O'Connor do here? Won by Conor Clark. Joe McMahon is back there helping out his defence, laying it off far as Mark Donnelly from Carrickmore. Referee got the centre half forward is fouled, and that's a free for Tyrone. Free quickly taken. Sean Kavanagh giving it back to Peter Hart, who wasn't quite expecting that pass. Retrieves it easily. Joe McMahon is getting on a lot of ball in this opening half. Probably took too much out of it. Colin Kavanagh trying to get away from Daniel Flynn. Ball is aimed again at Stephen O'Neill. Oh, lovely skill by O'Neill. Bearing down on goal, and that is... Now what is that? Looks like it's gone wide. There's no umpire signalling. Let's have a look at this again, Kevin.
Well, he's given a free out. That's the first thing to say. Maybe he threw the ball. Looks like he maybe threw the ball. Yeah.
Some of the passes going astray. There's a blatant foul on Mark Donnelly. Taken down by Morgan O'Flaherty. And that's going to be a free in for Tyrone. And Joe McQuillan is going to have a word with the centre half back and issuing a yellow card.
Yeah, it had to be. It came from sloppy play with the turned over the ball again, and he literally had to pull him down to stop him changing that defence into attack very quickly, and that's what he did, and he picks up a yellow very early in the game. Now he has to mind himself.
So the free opportunity for Sean Kavanagh, All-Ireland minor medalist back in 2001, Footballer of the Year 2008, and he hasn't lost his free-taking touch. Good score, easy for a man of this quality, and Tyrone put their noses in front.
Well, there were their own authors there, not only to give away the free, they picked up the yellow, as we said, so poor play all round.
Hugh McGrillen laying it back for Eamon Callahan. Peter Kelly over for Daniel Flynn. Plenty of St. Conleth's Park in front of him. Lays it off quickly for Niall Kelly, looking around for an incisive run through the centre. Comes back to Kelly more by accident than design. Pumps it into the corner, at least that was the intention, but it's a poor kick by Niall Kelly.
I think he might even have been trying to point, believe it or not there, Marty. He just got it all mixed up. Changed his mind at the last second, then tried to slice across the ball and just made a hames of it really, and a bad wide.
Kick out from Pascal McConnell. Matthew Donnelly bravely going into the cul-de-sac. Sean Kavanagh wants to take it quickly. Peter Kelly was clearly holding on to Stephen O'Neill. And what we saw in the league game here in Newbridge, and indeed the league semi-final, and indeed the 2009 All-Ireland quarter-final, that Kildare have a serious problem with Stephen O'Neill. They just don't seem to be capable of marking him.
Yeah, and in picking Peter Kelly, they would have been confident enough, you know, like he's a former all-star footballer, that he would have been of that level to mark him. But Matthew Donnelly has got 2 massive breaks in the last minute or 2 of play. They're the key.
Sean Kavanagh scores his 2nd point of the match. 3 points to 1. And a lot of it is self-inflicted by Kildare with some of this short passing. Tomas Connor comes way out around the 40. Plenty of Tyrone defenders, but Niall Kelly did really well! And he blazes it over the crossbar. Niall Kelly, he's only 19 years of age from Athy, but this was just a little piece of magic from him.
Just over, isn't it? And he's started really well. He's their most prominent attacker so far. A lot of dash in him. Had a great effort there.
Wasn't far away when you look at the replay from being under the crossbar. Mark Donnelly. Again, every time Tyrone get the ball around the middle of the field, it's a long ball to O'Neill. That's the reason why. In fires Ryan McKenna, there's a chance of a goal! Beautiful play by Tyrone. Matthew Donnelly, the scorer. And you feel that the Ulster boys are playing with confidence. And O'Neill did all the hard work here. The ball came in for Matthew Donnelly, and he cracked it home.
Well, watch this. It's O'Neill again. Makes the break. Lovely ball across from Ryan McKenna. Look at the way he places this one, Marty. Right into the top corner. So composed. Great goal.
Hugh McGrillen. Niall Kelly comes out to a wing forward position. Chasing after him is Cathal McCarron. Still Niall Kelly, and that is a great response. No, it's not.
Oh, no, that's over.
Wide. It looked like it was over the bar from here. Let's look at the replay, Kevin.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, Marty. The posts aren't the highest in the land, for sure, and we would take Hawkeye if he was around. But we've a perfect angle on this. Impossible to say, really, with those pictures, but my first instinct was that was over.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Ball is signalled wide. And we don't have Hawkeye in St. Conlet's Park in Newbridge, unfortunately. Sideline ball, quickly taken. Emmett Bolton. Morgan O'Flaherty. Peter Hart is opposite number 6, comes into challenge. Referee has blown his whistle. He's giving a free to Kildare. Eamon Callaghan looking to see who's available, and the referee has lost his patience here and says it's going to be a throw ball for delaying.
Well, he's absolutely correct. Eamon Callaghan just held on, looking for a runner. Tomas Connor, if he got the ball in early, was on his own. He delayed, then Joe McMahon got back to cover off, and then the throw-up ball. Really wasteful by Kildare.
Good touchback for his Conor Gormley, Joe McMahon, two of the heroes of former achievements. Goal scorer Matthew Donnelly. Defending well is Daniel Flynn. Comes for as Joe McMahon. Challenged illegally by Eamon Callaghan. Free for Tyrone. Great shenanigans going on between Peter Kelly and Stephen O'Neill, not in an over robust way, but they fell over each other. That's what all the cheering is going on in the background. Nothing sinister, nothing, no handbag stuff going on off camera. Hugh McGrillen goes for the long ball. Not really working for Kildare in this first half. Martin Penrose lays it off swiftly. Matthew Donnelly being challenged by Ono Flaherty. Penrose going forward, running into a cul-de-sac of green and white jerseys. Hugh McGrillen gathered the ball. He was fouled, and it's a free for Kildare. Captain of the Lily White, Eamon Callaghan. Down towards Niall Kelly. Referee again. Thought I heard he was blowing his whistle, but he wasn't, obviously. Matthew Donnelly. Darren McCurry. David Hyland staying goal side. Back for Sean Kavanagh. Difficult angle. And that ball is wide. Well, Mickey Hart in his 11th Championship season must be well pleased with the start after 14 minutes. Tyrone 1-3, Kildare 2 points. Hugh McGrillen. Layoff is for Paddy Brophy. Good defending by Peter Hart. Johnny Doyle, who started this point after this game after 34 seconds with a wonderful score. Lays it off to Niall Kelly. Good defending by Tyrone. Comes out far as Darrell Flynn. And the shooting by Kildare is disappointing. But you sense, Kevin, that the Tyrone defence are very much on top.
Yeah, but they've been given so much time to set the defence, Marty. That's the major problem that Kildare have. They're going across the field with hand passing, and Joe McMahon is just trotting back into places, the sweeper, at his leisure. And then you have the extra man in defence for anyone to break the high ball down into them. That is their major problem.
Good kick out from Pascal McConnell. Plenty of distance, but just go out over the sideline. Farris quickly taken by Farris Morgan O'Flaherty. Hugh McGrillen. Paddy Brophy back to McGrillen again. Floating it in high. Farris Tomas O'Connor knocked away by Conor Clark. Good pick up by Conor Gormley. Joe McMahon getting his keeper Pascal McConnell involved. Available is Cathal McCarran. Had a wonderful league campaign. There is Mark Donnelly. Carrick Moorman taking the game to Kildare. McCarran is a defender that loves to attack, dispossessed on this occasion. Torrig O'Neill. Good ball up for Niall Kelly. Hefty challenge on Kelly. Conor Gormley, and the referee has given a free to Kildare.
It's a very strong challenge. You're going to see it here, and that's a bookable challenge in my book. He goes in very strong, and it's up around the head. He knows what he's doing, because if Kelly slips him, he's in danger.
Dr. Danny Mulvihill is after coming in as we watch some off-the-ball activity going on. Kieran McGeeney is having a word with the linesman. Let's just have a look at this incident again. Kieran McGeeney having a word with Eamon Callaghan. This is the incident again, Kevin.
Yeah, well, Conor Gormley knows exactly what he's doing there. He's stopping him in his tracks, and that is a strong challenge. I'll say that Niall Kelly will be quiet for 5 or 10 minutes after that belt.
Johnny Doyle taking the fray and registering his second point of the game. They're very much in contention here, but they've conceded quite a number of easy scores. Matthew Donnelly's goal still the difference between the teams. It's 17.5 minutes played. Kick out from Pascal McConnell. Changes direction. Down first, Conor Gormley. Looking it forward for Matthew Donnelly. Backtracking is Ono Flaherty. Darren McCurry laying it back. This is dropping in, and that is over the crossbar. Now that's impressive. Matthew Donnelly scores a goal and a point in St. Conleth's Park in Newbridge. What about this for a point? Against the blinding sun. Great score.
It's an outstanding score, and he has been their outstanding player as well. He said on breaks, got the goal, and then that point. Superb play.
Emmett Bolton going forward. Tomas O'Connor is the only forward inside the 20-metre line. Johnny Doyle is there, going to have a pop from there. Pascal McConnell has the situation under control and lays it off for his Joe McMahon. Joe McMahon is getting on a lot of ball, and I don't really see Eamon Callaghan chasing after him. Great interception here by Callaghan, the aforementioned captain, and shooting again. Just so disappointing from a Kildare perspective. That's their 5th wide of the game so far.
Yeah, that's a really disappointing one, because he gets a great steal and lovely intercept on the bad hand pass. Really should have got a lot more out of it than that. Bad wide.
Change in the Kildare attack. Paul Cribben is on. Going off is Daniel Flynn. Well won by Torrig O'Neill. Eamon Callaghan laying it off quickly for his Morgan O'Flaherty. Better ball for his Johnny Doyle. The overlap provided by Paddy Brophy, and the finish again is a major disappointment. 6th wide of the game for the Lily Whites. Can they do anything along the sideline to change the trend of the game, Kevin?
Well, this is their system, do you see, and they're playing to that system, but you keep mentioning the defender Joe McMahon, who was down as 12, but he's the extra man, and he is the major defender for them. Once they keep it this slow, he's always going to get back.
Eamon Callaghan. Johnny Doyle. For his Paul Cribben. Can he register a point here? Ball is wide. Ross Connor telling him to lay it in. Give the diagonal ball if at all possible. Don't be shooting from impossible angles is basically the advice that Tomas Connor is giving. "33-year-old Pascal McConnell, 6'4". He is now an intercounty footballer with Tyrone for the last 10 years. Kick out is aimed at the far side. Goes off a Tyrone player. Torrig O'Neill wants to take the sideline ball quickly. Has to go back. There's Emmett Bolton. Hugh McGrillen. Eamon Callaghan. Hugh McGrillen. Long ball is aimed at Tomas Connor. Knocked away again by Conor Clark. Good work by Matthew Donnelly, knocking it back for his Conor Clark. He's playing well at full back. Once again, it's Joe McMahon that's on the ball. He's dragged back by Johnny Doyle, so it's a free for Tyrone. Ryan McKenna. Aidan McCrory. Mark Donnelly. Down towards Darren McCurry. Centre back Peter Hart. 3 Tyrone footballers waiting here. Cathal McCarran. Sean Kavanagh. And that is going over the crossbar. Awesome football by Tyrone when they get moving, when they go forward. Lovely little jink here by Sean Kavanagh. It's his 3rd point of the game.
Yeah, but isn't that the same jink we've been watching now for about 10 years? Everybody knows he's going to do it, and yet they still can't get onto his right foot to put a bit of pressure on the shot. They're buying the dummy. Now, that doesn't take away from the skill of it, of course, but at this stage, everyone should know he's making that move.
Paddy Brophy. Darrell Flynn. Sean Kavanagh doing the hard work now after scoring the spectacular point, winning the possession back for Tyrone. Ends up with Mark Donnelly laying it off as Darren McCurry. Counter Stephen O'Neill. There's trouble here for Kildare. He's inside the large rectangle. What's it going to be? It's going to go out for a 45 because the umpire has his hand raised. Joe McQuillan is going to go in and make sure that tempers are not frayed. But Stephen O'Neill, every time he gets the ball, the earth seems to move in St. Conleth's Park. 45 is the correct decision by the umpire there, anyway.
I'm not sure I agree. I think I thought that was a Kildare or Tyrone knee that hit it. I did to see it again. I was more concerned with the penalty shout.
Yeah.
Stephen O'Neill's hand seemed to be pulled back as he was coming in along the end line. Didn't give it. 45.
Taking the 45, Joe McMahon. And unable to keep it in. Just going off his fingertips, Darren McCurry. Let's look and see what happened here.
Well, he's looking for the inside line, and he was pulled back in the first instance. Definitely looked like David Hyland was pulling him back by the hand. Maybe it would have been a harsh one to give. All wide.
Morgan O'Flaherty over first, Peter Kelly. Owen O'Flaherty. Great defending by Tyrone. Look at the hard work, the grafting that they're doing. Morgan O'Flaherty. Aimed at Tomas Connor. His battle with Conor Clark gets more interesting as time progresses, but you'd have to say so far that Conor Clark is winning that particular exchange.
Yeah, it's a foul, all right. Conor has got in front of him and he's fighting really hard for the front position. But what results now is a really important kick for Johnny Doyle. I won't say it's an easy one, but it's on the right side. It suits Johnny Doyle. I'm sure he's put over thousands of these in training. But to keep Kildare in touch now, this is one he needs to head off to the far post and curl it back in. Nice and handy over the black spot. A big kick for Johnny.
All-Star Footballer 2010. A vital kick. He didn't take your advice, Kevin. He went for the near post.
But that's symptomatic of, I think, both Doyle and the Kildare team, their confidence levels. I mean, to hook it that badly on the near side. Kildare just not going that well. Game hasn't really taken off, and Tyrone seem to be in the ascendancy, and everything under control on their terms.
It's 8 wides, by the way, for Kildare in comparison to Tyrone's 2. That statistic alone telling its own story.
Yeah, that's a big number, isn't it? Yeah. That does tell the story.
Matthew Donnelly. Sean Kavanagh. Back to Donnelly again. Pumping it in high. Oh, Shane Connolly. Good hands by the keeper under his crossbar. David Hyland. Gives it short for his own O'Flaherty. Johnny Doyle. That's a better ball for Tomas Connor now. Overlap provided by Owen O'Flaherty. The cross is not a great one, and easily gathered by the keeper, Pascal McConnell.
On top of those 10 wides, you can now add another 2 into the goalie's hands, can't you, Marty? They all add up as well.
Look at this graphic. Kildare have failed to score for the last 10 minutes. Ball again is pumped down towards corner forward Darren McCurry. Back out fires Matthew Donnelly. Floating this one in. The goalkeeper's off his line. And Shane Connolly did well on the second attempt. Paul Cribben. Pass is a terrible one. It's one of the features of the first half from a Kildare perspective. And look at that for an accurate diagonal ball in contrast. Matthew Donald laying it off for Sean Kavanagh. Floating one in gently, hopping ball in for Stephen O'Neill. There's a lot of pulling and dragging. The referee has blown his whistle. And for a little bit of descent as well. There's an extra 13 metres moved in near the goalpost. But Stephen O'Neill being fouled unceremoniously here, no question.
Yeah, but then to exacerbate it, okay, bad enough that Peter Kelly gets caught for yet another foul on him, but then descent, and now picked up the yellow for further descent. Joe McQuillan rightly brings it in. Is the tap over, another score.
Darren McCurry with a simple tap over point. That's his second of the evening here in Newbridge. Scored 8 points against Offaly, 6 against Rossies, and in that sequence Peter Kelly has also been given a yellow card.
And he'll have to be taken off now. You'll find he taken off marking Stevie O'Neill. Someone else will have to do it.
The kick out was aimed at a wing back, but instead it goes to Conor Gormley. Peter Hart comes through the middle. Shoulder down, but Bolton was more of an elbow. Quickly taken by Peter Hart. Down first Darren McCurry, coming forward is Martin Penrose. That left boot is usually accurate, but not on this occasion. And that's only a third wide for Tyrone in this third round qualifier. Eamon Callahan being attended to by the medical team as we look at this interception. Hard work again, the feature of Tyrone's team over the years.
It's kind of a basic requirement Mickey Hart has of all his team. That's the standard. Produce that, and then we'll start talking about playing football. And they are working hard.
Darrell Flynn is fouled. Free for Kildare. Just inside the Tyrone 65-metre line. Good work here by Darrell Flynn, but was fouled. Just a result that we're getting here, Cavan 122, Derry 20 points, so that's a 5-point victory for Cavan. Meanwhile, we're live here in Newbridge. Kildare finding it difficult to cope with the work ethic of Tyrone as they chase and pursue everything. Johnny Doyle. Again, the passing by Kildare is quite poor. Remember, a lot of these players are not under great pressure when they're making the passes. Referee has blown his whistle. He's given a free, it would appear, to Tyrone. Torrig O'Neill is the player that came in with the challenge, would indicate a frontal charge.
Yeah, it was certainly a yellow. He was going to go for the ball and then he changed his mind because he was going to get a belt himself, and he delayed. You'll just see it here, look, now he goes in. No ball, frontal, and that's a yellow.
That means in terms of yellow cards for Kildare, the fullback, centre-back and midfielders are all now on yellow. Kind of symptomatic of what's happening on the field. Kildare struggling. Sean Kavanagh back to Peter Hart. Saw him all through the league playing at centre half forward, but he's doing well at centre back. He's gone for the return pass. Peter Kelly is all over Stephen O'Neill. Still O'Neill, and the cross, if that's what it was intended to be, or a shot at goal, went to the wrong side of the post. And Stephen O'Neill retaliated there on Peter Kelly. Referee Joe McQuillan has to go in and try and sort matters out.
Well, I had a perfect view of it. Peter Kelly went after Stephen O'Neill and banged into his back, and then Stevie O'Neill just banged back. You see it here, there it is. He just bangs back. No big deal about that. In my point, Kelly had that coming to him. He's the one that went looking for it.
Remember, Peter Kelly is the man that's on yellow.
Well, I did mention that earlier, but how these guys are carrying yellows and then feel that they can go around pushing and shoving. And if he's sent off now, what a what a disadvantage that puts Kildare at.
He was an all-star in 2010. Made his league debut against Meath in that particular campaign. Referee Joe McQuillan is having a word with his linesman. And he's having a word with Stephen O'Neill. Is he obviously going to book Stephen O'Neill? That's a yellow card for the Tyrone full forward.
Do they ever ask themselves the questions, I wonder why he retaliated? It amazes me in this game that the perpetrator, walks scot-free. But there you go.
If you look at it from Peter Kelly's perspective, it's now even Stephen. They're both in yellow. Free to Kildare in the middle of the field. Eamon Callaghan looking to his right, seeking out Hugh McGrillen. Good work by Paul Cribben. Again, the finish was deflected. In fact, the umpire has his arm raised, so it could be a 45 for Kildare.
Yeah, it is indeed, Marty. It was a good spot by the referee. Immediately it hit off the top of his hand as he fired in the shot. Good work.
.34.5 minutes played, and Kildare have not scored since the 17th minute. Interesting that Ono Flaherty is going to take the 45 and not Johnny Doyle. Pumps it in. Well gathered again by Joe McMahon. Down fires Ryan McKenna. Martin Penrose. Mark Donnelly to Penrose again. Kildare are going to have to work harder. That little sequence indicated that they're well capable of doing it to win possession back. Niall Kelly. Hugh McGrillen. Backfires Ono Flaherty. And all the way back fires Darrell Flynn. And there's a huge groan around St. Conleth's Park with that back pass.
That was meant for Johnny Doyle, that's why. It was so badly off target.
Paul Cribben. Ball down towards Paddy Brophy. He got
Wide.
the last touch. Ball is wide.
Well, that sequence, Marty, tells you everything about how poorly Kildare are performing. And you have to say well done to Tyrone. They're working their socks off. But Kildare are asking no questions at all of their defence. Not moving it around. Their passing is inaccurate. Their touch is poor as well on a beautiful dry evening. And they're in trouble. They need to get into the dressing room and get their heads together.
2 minutes of additional time. They've already played 1 minute of that. And Kildare are introducing a substitute. This is Sean Hurley that's coming on. And Eamon Callaghan, who was a late withdrawal for the game against Louth a week ago. He seems to have injury difficulties, so the captain goes off and Sean Hurley comes on. That must be the only explanation, considering we're almost at half-time. Hugh McGrillen. Outfires Morgan O'Flaherty. Owen O'Flaherty. Johnny Doyle. Goes for the score and gets it. Johnny Doyle is still producing it for his county. It's his 3rd point and the first score for the Lily Whites since the 17th minute. That's 20 minutes ago.
But Marty, can I just go back to the last 45 that was taken by Kildare? I think it was Eamon Callaghan took it, wasn't it? Now Johnny Doyle had taken the earlier shot from distance. It just seems crazy, that sort of planning.
Well, it's been an interesting first half, but the better team by far has been Tyrone, playing into the blinding sunshine. The goal by Matthew.
Half-time here in Newbridge in this round 3 qualifier. Just a reminder that Tyrone are leading Kildare by 1-6 to 4 points. The other game, by the way, that's been played this evening in the qualifiers between Wexford and Laois, the half-time score there is Wexford 4 points, Laois 9 points. Sorry, 2-4 Wexford 2-4, Laois 9 points. Half-time score of that match. Just a reminder also that in the 2 games played earlier on today, Galway beat Armagh and Cavan beat Derry after extra time. Kieran Whelan, Pat Spillane with me here in Newbridge this evening. Kieran, I suppose it's not too hard maybe to sum up that first half. Tyrone playing fairly well, Kildare not playing fairly well.
Yeah, it's a contrast. And we've got a team that knows how to play the game in a structured manner, know how to set themselves up, dictate the terms of the game against a team, Kildare, lacking in self-confidence, lacking in self-belief, and haven't really got the crowd going, have kicked 10 wides, have kicked the ball away, unforced errors 12, 13 times. You know, that's 20 possessions they've let go. Tyrone, much better side. Kildare needs something to happen to get back into this game. You know, Matthew Donnelly was very effective at wing forward. The tail of the 2 full forwards, Tomas O'Connor hasn't got his hands on the ball. 3 or 4 balls have gone into him. Stephen O'Neill has been involved. Everything that's been good up the other end. A huge gulf between both teams at the moment. Tyrone working much harder, more structured in defence. Kildare fairly clueless.
It's relatively easy, Pat Spillane, for us standing up here to see what's wrong with Kildare. But it's supposed to change it is another problem.
It is, I mean, you only saw one team, like Kieran alluded to, playing football in that first half, and it's nothing new about Tyrone's game plan. The mobility was there, the pace is there, the work rate, their defensive setup was the same always, their vision, their distribution. You know, they were the only team playing football. They were hungrier, they were sharper. I can't figure this out at all. I mean, Michael, you look at Kildare, they've been under McGeaney for 6 years, but to me they look clueless. Clueless, they have no plan in attack at all, absolutely no. Their build-up play is slow, ponderous and lateral. The lack of basic skill execution is frightening. The kick passing is poor, the hand passing is poor. I mean, if you have a sweeper in the shape of Joe McMahon, he's parked in front of the goal. Sure, gee, by the time the ball comes up to him, 10 minutes later, your grandmother would act as a sweeper. They're not making the sweeper work. There's no plan at all. It's been, as Kieran alluded to, a team lacking in any tactical nous and a team very much Kildare lacking in confidence.
Let's look at the Tyrone goal, Kieran, because in actual fact, before this came, you were sort of marking out for us Matthew Donnelly and the difficulties that he was causing, and indeed it came to fruition with what has to be said was a very good goal.
It did, a very good goal, and you know, before he picked up a couple of breaks here, and the interesting tactical setup here is that Daniel Flynn, who is not a natural wing back, you know, has played in the full forward line, has played out half forward in midfield. He was picking him up at left half back, and for the first 15 minutes, you know, Matthew Donnelly had the freedom of the park. Poor old Daniel Flynn didn't really know what position to be playing, and it's been that you expected Kildare to do something different, but the goal came off Stephen O'Neill, probably a ball here that you didn't think he was going to win, you know, but he does. He breaks it down, and it's a simple pass, and nobody there to pick up Matthew Donnelly. In fairness, he finishes into the top corner. But they've made the change. They've taken off Daniel Flynn. They brought in Paul Cribb, and Ona Flaherty has gone back to pick up Matthew Donnelly. But again, tactically, it's unfair. A young lad, 19, 20 years of age, come playing probably one of the biggest games of the year, and they stick him in left half back, and he didn't know how to play the position, and Matthew Donnelly took full advantage of it.
Pat, you were talking a moment ago about Kieran McGeaney, but in fairness to Geezer, he can't exactly go out there on the field and start kicking some of the points that they needed in that first half, because some of the wides, there's no manager can do anything about that except look in exasperation at it.
I would agree with you, and what you're seeing here is A, poor shot selection, B, poor technique. And you see, one of the problems also, Michael, is you're taking the ball into the tackle, but like, this is a guy unopposed 25 metres out from the goal. That should be bread and butter. So as Kieran alluded to, look, 9 wides, 3 balls into the goalie's hand. But it's not today or yesterday we've been highlighting Kildare's forward inadequacies. In the 2 matches, Michael, just as a useless statistic, in the 2 matches when they played Tyrone in the league, they converted 10 out of 36 chances when they played them here in Newbridge. When they played them in the league semi-final, they converted 13 out of 37 chances, and we're seeing more of the same today. Agreed, McGeaney isn't to blame, but this, at senior level, you expect better shot selection, you expect better execution.
Mentally, Pat, their confidence is just drained. You can nearly see when they're executing the shots that there's no belief, self-belief that they're going to go over the bar. They're just playing a team at a very, very low ebb that needs something to spark them into life, and I don't know whether they're going to find it today.
Well, Tyrone certainly going well in this match so far. Are they headed for round 4 of the qualifiers? We'll find out in the second half, coming up after this break.
Ulster Bank, your home team, whatever your county colours.
Al the Snow is one of the last remaining rock stars.
I want you to go to London and pick him up, then bring him back here for the show at the Greek.
Having a possible health issue with the talent?
Axe him!
Jonah Hill and Russell Brand in Get Him to the Greek, Thursday at 9 on RTE2.
Introducing a paint that's out of this world. Universal All-Surface Paint gives you the power to change anything. With its advanced formula, it can be applied directly to surfaces in your home and garden without the need for a primer. Universal All-Surface Paint works on wood, metal, ceramics, and most plastics. For beautiful paintwork without the hard work, Universal All-Surface Paint from Rust-Oleum. This changes everything.
Lucozade Sport Club Crusade is back, and it's even better. This year, your club will get free match and training kits and clothing in exchange for Lucozade Sport bottle caps. So get your club registered, start collecting those bottle caps and get quality gear for your club. Register your club today at lucozadesport.ie.
Switching to UPC is the best thing we ever did. I mean, I do enough waiting around without waiting for stuff to download too. Kids were really fed up with slow broadband, you know, teenagers. On the phone, the laptop, watching TV, all at the same time, and that's just Laura. What? With UPC, it never slows down, even when we're all online. It's great value, and you get something money can't buy. Peace. We've been fibre-powered. Have you?
Get totally unlimited 50 meg fibre power broadband, TV with on-demand and home phone. Only from UPC.
You can really trust 123.ie. Their comprehensive extra car insurance comes with breakdown assistance with Home Start, windscreen cover, and a 24-hour claim service, all for just €249. Now that's real value.
No wonder 500,000 new 123.ie policies have been snapped up in the past 4 years. Call us free on 1-800-444-123 or click
123.ie. Just log on and save money.
Hey there! For offers on new movies and games that are out of this world, look no further than Extravision. Our amazing new Summer Family Pass lets you rent unlimited new movies and games for only €20. Yes, you heard us right. All you can watch or play for €20 this month only. Get your pass today, then laugh, cry, cheer, shout, and fight all summer long with the latest and greatest new movies and games in town. Extravision Family Pass. Your summer sorted.
The GAA Football All-Ireland Championship, sponsored by SuperValue. We believe in local.
You're welcome back again to the Saturday Game Live. We'll be returning to the second half in just a moment. We have our big competition coming up for you, so get ready to take down some details on that. Just a reminder, of course, that Tyrone leading Kildare here by 1-6 to 4 points at half-time. Now, here comes our competition. There's a big prize for All-Ireland Football Final Day on offer.
We've teamed up with the GAA to give you the chance to win your choice of tickets to either the All-Ireland Senior Football or Hurling Final in September. You and 3 of your friends will enjoy all the action from one of Croke Park's corporate boxes. Plus, there's an overnight stay at the 4-star Croke Park Hotel, a stadium tour on the morning of the game, and €500 spending money too. For your chance to win, answer this. Which of these teams did Donegal defeat in the 2012 GAA All-Ireland Senior Football Final? Was it Mayo, Dublin or Kerry? To enter, call 1516 71 71 74 or text the word football followed by your answer and name to 57001. Viewers in the north can also text to 57001 or call the number on screen. You must be over 18 to enter. Lines will close at midday on Friday, July 26th. More details on RTE Airtel page 194, where the lucky winner will also be announced.
Best of luck with that, and best of luck to Kildare, I suppose, for the second half as well, Pat. One suspects they need a goal here in this match. Now, in fairness, in that first half, Niall Kelly did have a chance.
Yeah, for Kildare to win the match, they need to score goals. They created one goal-scoring chance in the first half. That was Niall Kelly. and I think he should have done better when you look back. Got a pint out of it, got straight through. I think he just got under the ball. I think you compare the composure of Matty Donnelly, who stroked the ball in. There was a sort of wild swing at it. But if you look at the gas part about Kildare with goals, is that they were the highest scoring team in Division 1 in the National League. They scored 10 goals. Yet you can throw another statistic. In the last 11 championship matches under McGuinness, they didn't score a goal in 8 of them, and that is the problem. To win championship, to win big matches, to win provincial titles, you need to score goals. And against one of the best defensive teams in the country, if you have if you're clueless in attack, and B, you have slow, ponderous lateral build-ups, oh God save us, you're going to create no goal scoring chances. That might score a goal, Michael.
Kieran Whelan, Kildare have been out for a good couple of minutes now. Tyrone's still in the dressing room. Their dressing room was just below us here, so we're still waiting for them. So obviously Kieran McGuinness has kept his words to them brief.
Yeah, the body language didn't look good on the way out. I would think that they'll make a couple of changes there in the second half in the forward line. I think we'd see Alan Smith and Shawnee Johnson. They just need more ball winners in there. They've got to get ball into Tomas O'Connor. They've got to go for this. They've got to work harder. They've got to up their work rate. They need something to happen. They need a goal to get themselves back into this game. But one thing does concern me though, is that they are still leaving in a massive gap between their full back line and their half back line, and Tyrone could exploit that. If they get early ball into O'Neill, they could be in trouble.
Yeah, but look, they're 5 points behind. In the second half against Louth last week, they were 2 points behind. The change that took place was they committed players to attack. They went route one. They've got to work Joe McMahon. They can't allow Joe McMahon dictate the game. They've got to work Joe McMahon. They've got to get Tomas O'Connor into the game. And I think you need the likes of a goal poacher like Shawnee Johnson to feed off Tomas O'Connor. But I agree with what Kieran said. The team, that Kildare team that ran out of the dressing room, they looked like a team heading for Waterloo. They didn't look like a team that really believed and were revved up to win.
I suppose, Kieran, on the back of that, during the first half here, the Kildare goal is just down from us here. And I was looking at Shane Connolly, their goalkeeper, and a couple of times shaking his head in exasperation at some of the wides that they kicked. And if a team is doing that, it does drain.
Yeah. It drains confidence. But one of the things that Kieran McGuinness alluded to over the last couple of weeks was that he was disappointed with the basic errors and their basic errors in possession. And it's just loose hand passing, just giving the ball away. And it's very frustrating for some guys who have burst a butt to win it back, and all of a sudden it's given away loosely. And Tyrone are the one team that will punish you. Give away a loose pass and they're in the counter-attack straight away.
Tyrone are indeed back onto the field now. They are 5 points to the good at half-time in this match. Let's see how the second half works out as we go back to the commentary box to Kevin McStay, and first, of course, again to Marty Morrissey.
Thank you very much, Michael. The official attendance given here at 7,448, and hopefully they will get a better second half than what we got in the first half. 5 points down, and as the lads were saying there, the body language from Kildare, well, it didn't look as if they were at their most confident. Tyrone still playing with that swagger, and new players like Peter Hart, Matthew Donnelly, Darren McCurry, all performing well. Can they get enough ball in to the Kildare full forward line in this second half? To Tomas O'Connor, Paddy Brophy. Is it time to bring in Shawnee Johnston? These are questions that Kieran McGuinness will face over the next 35 minutes. Will Tyrone be facing Meath in round 4 qualifier next Saturday night, or will it be Kildare? 5 points down at the break. Everything to play for. It's championship, do or die time. Second half underway. Paddy Brophy out around the 40, sending it over towards Sean Hurley. And that ball goes out over the sideline ball.
Walk away.
Once again, it's Joe McMahon. Brings Pascal McConnell into it, and then takes responsibility himself. Ryan McKenna. Peter Hart. Ball given away. Niall Kelly with an easy interception. Slipping one through for Sean Hurley. Paddy Brophy coming through. And again, tremendous defending by Tyrone. They're back there in numbers. Kildare somehow have the ball again. Sean Hurley. Ball comes loose. And away comes Donnelly to Joe McMahon. There's only one man in the entire half of the field for Tyrone, and that is this man. Stephen O'Neill has now joined him. Darren McCurry. The ball is sent across. The ball is still dropping down towards Stephen O'Neill. Shane Connolly is there. Darrell Flynn. Kildare have to start this second half with confident football. Make sure their passing is accurate and don't give away silly possession. Now, can they take the quick free here? Not quite. The passing has been poor though, Kevin, hasn't it?
It has, and the very first possession that they took from the throw-in, Kildare turned it over badly with the first pass inside, and it is, you know, symptomatic of what they have been doing. Pat mentioned it at halftime. Their hand passing really of a poor standard, foot passing equally so. They really need to get moving now, get something going early on, get the crowd behind them.
Johnny Doyle taking the free and putting it over the bar. It's his 4th point of the game, which makes one wonder why he didn't take the second 45 in the first half. The point you made, Kevin. 4 points between the teams. Pascal McConnell. Straight down the middle. Knocked away by Darrell Flynn. Well won by Paddy Brophy. He's been moved out to the half-forward line and he's winning a lot of ball there in the early stages. Hugh McGrillen. As far as Emmett Bolton. McGrillen is available again. Paddy Brophy is gone inside. McGrillen floating one in first to Moss O'Connor. One clean, lays it off as Parag O'Neill. Kildare need this to go over the bar, and it has. Much better football by the Lily Whites. And a really good combination team effort here.
Yeah, well, it's McGrillen's ball inside, isn't it? Tomas O'Connor that opens it up. He lays it off, and it is an excellent finish from Parag O'Neill, and that just puts the goal between them now. As I said a minute ago, gives the crowd something to get their teeth into and support their local team if they're going to make a move at it. They've been crying out for something to hold on to.
Kick out from Pascal McConnell. Punched down by Darrell Flynn. Great play by Cathal McCarron, winning the 50-50 ball ahead of Paddy Brophy. Stephen O'Neill somehow managing to gather clean possession. Good defender by Kildare on this occasion by David Hyland. Mackay was only a minor last year, just 19. Over first Paul Cribbin. Has to go back for Zone O'Flaherty. Backtracking is Darren McCurry. Niall Kelly. This is much better, Kildare. Now comes the shot. Here comes the score. We have seen better football out of Kildare in the last 3 minutes than we saw over the first 35 minutes. And remember, they failed to score for 20 minutes in that first half, between the 17th and 37th.
Yeah, well, there's their best player of the evening, Niall Kelly. He's taken the game to them, and he knows where the posts are generally when he gets in front of them.
Kildare supporters came here to Newbridge to support their team in this knockout championship game, and last they're getting something to cheer about. Sometimes it can be an exasperation when a decision goes against them. Much better, Kildare. David Kelly coming to grips with Stephen O'Neill. Hugh McGrillen over first Paddy Brophy. Survives the challenge provided by Ryan McKenna. Still Brophy. Making himself available is Parag O'Neill. Changes the direction of the play. Long ball over towards Paul Cribbin, who gets there in time. Available to his right is Niall Kelly. Still Cribbin. The shot is diagonally aimed at left half back Emmett Bolton, and the referee feels that Bolton was being fouled And that is a free in for Kildare. Joe McMahon and Colin McCarran are questioning the referee. What do you think, Kevin?
Well, it is off the soft variety. It's the best I can say. It always seems to me that these are kind of equalising frees. You know, the last few went to Tyrone, so this one flips over to Kildare. That is a very, very handy one.
So a soft free, as Kevin would say, for Johnny Doyle to take. Literally dead straight in front of the posts. He's already scored 4 points. Crowd cheers for Doyle's 5th point of the match. 1 point between the teams. Considering that Kildare were down 5 points at the break, that's quite a return since the second half started. Colin Kavanagh is going off, and the player that's coming on is Aidan Cassidy. So a change in midfield by Mickey Hart. Pascal McConnell's kick out, punched on by Aidan Cassidy to the onrushing Sean Kavanagh, being pursued by 3 Kildare players. Kavanagh onto his left foot, and he miscues. Unusually for him, and he acknowledges it immediately.
It's certainly no requirement for any supporters to ever cheer loudly in opposition wide. Very unsporting.
Interesting to note that Tyrone haven't scored since the 28th minute of the first half. They're now on the 43rd of the second. Better play by Kildare. It's been a while, as I mentioned, for Tyrone to raise a flag. Darrell Flynn to Emmett Bolton. Being pursued by Ryan McKenna. Nice little jink by Niall Kelly. Long ball inside. Comes for his Paul Cribben. And that is brilliant football by Kildare. The challenge was laid down by Tyrone. But Kildare have responded, and this is a much better second half performance. It looks like a different team.
Yeah, Niall Kelly all behind it again. But in fairness to Paul Cribben, he has opened really brightly in the second half, and he nails that one. But it's all about Kelly there. Brilliant hand pass inside to free him up.
Tyrone management just looking a little bit concerned at the moment. The sides level for the second time in St. Conleth's Park, Newbridge. Kick out by Pascal McConnell. Sean Kavanagh. Aidan Cassidy. Backfires Kavanagh again. Cathal McCarran gives Kavanagh an option. Darren McCurry. Backfires Cathal McCarran. Sean Kavanagh. Losing possession. Comes, however, first Peter Hart. Flicking one inside for Stephen O'Neill. And that is across the face of the goal and wide. Pressure being exerted by Kildare on the Tyrone forwards, which possibly wasn't done as much as they could have in the first. This is better out of the Lily Whites. Morgan O'Flaherty to Hugh McGrillen. Torrig O'Neill. McGrillen again available. Peter Kelly. Sean Hurley. A 1-2 with Paddy Brophy. But good interception by Aidan Cassidy. And as a result of Sean Hurley holding on to Cassidy, an extra 13 metres. Mark Donnelly. Trying to cut onto his right boot. Still Donnelly going through. And the referee, for a foot block, has indicated a penalty. And Joe McQuillan had no doubt whatsoever. That's the match official. Let's look at it again.
Well, it's a foot block for sure, and it is a penalty. I agree with that. But again, what was taking my attention, Marty, was the build-up. I thought he took an awful lot of steps on 2 occasions. Bolton gets the yellow for that foot block. But I thought he overcarried the ball a few times in the build-up.
Plenty to talk about in that sequence of play. There are too many steps. I think there's no doubt about a penalty. It was a foot block. Emmett Bolton has been shown a yellow card. And it's now a crucial moment in this round 3 qualifier. Stephen O'Neill, captain of Tyrone, facing Shane Connolly. Referee blows the whistle. Here comes O'Neill. And a brilliant save by Shane Connolly. Is that the turning point in this round 3 qualifier? And Kildare counter-attack swiftly and efficiently. Ona Flaherty laying it back for his full-back Peter Kelly. Going forward is Pádraig O'Neill. Can O'Neill finish this with a score? Turning the game around on its head. It was just a little bit short. Tomas Connor has fouled Pascal McConnell, and that's a free out for the Tyrone keeper. What about this for a fantastic save by Kildare keeper Shane Connolly?
Oh, brilliant angle there. You see everything. Shane Connolly guesses the right way. You have to these days in Gaelic football. What a brilliant save.
Mark Donnelly is fouled. Joe McMahon again makes himself available. Aidan Cassidy. Ferris Kyle McCarran spraying the ball over to the far wing. Available is Matthew Donnelly, who scored 1-1 in the first half. Highland battling hard with Martin Penrose. That's going to be a sideline ball for Tyrone. This is the incident again with Mark Donnelly going through.
Yes, I think there's no chance that was anything but a penalty.
Tyrone on the attack. Great drop down from Martin Penrose. Here comes Aidan Cassidy. Emmett Bolton comes in to challenge illegally, and that is a free in for Tyrone. Sides level, but the game has certainly stepped up a gear. And Shane Connolly's save has been a major talking point.
Yeah, it's a brilliant save. Imagine if Pádraig O'Neill had actually converted when they went down the other end of the field. They'd have taken the roof off the stand here in Newbridge. As it is, it's a good chance here.
Darren McCurry takes the free and the point. That's his third of the game. And that's Tyrone's first score since the 28th minute of the first half. And remember, at the break, Tyrone led 1-6-4. Kick out from Shane Connolly. Batted down and gathered ultimately by Mark Donnelly. Paddy Brophy coming into challenge. Here comes Aidan Cassidy. Hit a fair shoulder by Hugh McGrillen. Referee gets out of the way. Darren McCurry tries to make a bit of space for himself. Ball over Ferris Kyle McCarran. Paddy Brophy stays goal side. McCarran thought for a moment about taking a score, then overcarries, and that is a free down the field for Kildare.
Yeah, and that's another excellent call by Joe McQuillan. I have to say, is getting the vast majority of the calls right tonight. Definitely overcarried. Might even have thrown the ball as well on the hand pass. Free out to Kildare. That's the overcarry there.
Quick kick out on this occasion from Kildare. Hugh McGrillen to the right from Morgan O'Flaherty. Uses Sean Hurley instead. Johnstone Bridgeman gets by the challenges and wins himself a free. Sean Hurley took the right option, kept going forward, and ultimately the foul came in from Martin Penrose.
Yeah, massive work by Hurley. He really took it on very positive. Thought he might have overdone it a bit, but drew the foul.
change in the Tyrone defence. Dermot Carlin is coming on, and going off is right half back Ryan McKenna. Once again, it's a free for Johnny Doyle.
On his wrong side though. You know, Nicky Conway would be deadly at these with the kit hook, but he's going well enough to slot this one.
It's the angle. This is the kick, and it's over the bar. 6 points for Johnny Doyle. Dare fans enjoying the second half just a little bit more now. Sides level for the third time. From a team that's body language, which we all commented on when they came out after the break, really has sparkled into life, the home side. Can they maintain that momentum? Dermot Carlin going forward. Once again, Kelly and centre-back Morgan O'Flaherty playing well down the middle. Here comes Sean Hurley. Flicking it over for his Paul Cribben. Scored one great point in the second half. Emmett Bolton provides the support. Gives it back again for his Paul Cribben. Good combination football by Kildare. Niall Kelly much more involved, and then he gives it away to his opposite number 11. Took too much out of it. Free for Tyrone.
Solar did straight into his hands.
Conor Gormley. Long ball up towards Darren McCurry. It's superbly won by Kildare defence that's playing with more confidence now. Hugh McGrillen. Paddy Brophy. Morgan O'Flaherty. Darrell Flynn. Owen O'Flaherty. Down for his Niall Kelly. Going for Tomas O'Connor. Matthew Donnelly is playing as an extra defender in this second half almost. He's not behind his half back line, but behind his own full back line.
That was a trip by Johnny Doyle by hand, and it will attract a yellow, or it should attract a yellow. But just as the Tyrone defender was getting away, Johnny did a lovely rugby flick.
And Shawnee Johnston has been introduced as Johnny Doyle gets a yellow card. And Shawnee Johnston is on the field instead of Pádraig O'Neill.
And Sean Hurley has gone to midfield, Marty, just for the Pádraig O'Neill slip there when he went off.
Just confirmation, Johnny Doyle on a yellow card. Shawnee Johnston on for Pádraig O'Neill, and Sean Hurley now operating in the middle of the field. Paddy Brophy. His move out to the half-forward line has paid dividends. He's getting on an amount of ball. Hugh McGrillen. Johnny Doyle. Going for Tomas Connor. He arrives and knocks it down from Niall Kelly. Then Kelly loses possession under pressure. Won back by Conor Clark. Layoff is for Mark Donnelly. Available to his right, running off the ball again is Joe McMahon. His work rate is phenomenal. Bursting forward is Peter Kelly. Gives the hand pass, gets the return back from Sean Hurley. Drives it in towards the corner, towards Paddy Brophy. Peter Hart gets there first. Brophy fouls Peter Hart, and that too, I'm pretty sure, is going to be a yellow card. An unnecessary foul by Paddy Brophy.
Yeah, just throws him to the ground, wants to stop the play, doesn't want any build-up.
Aidan McCrory. Referee blows the whistle. The challenge on the ground, there was a boot going for the ball, but referees are very precise on this. Once you indicate the boot at all, the referee nearly always will blow the whistle.
And it's his fellow Cavan man, I think he pointed a finger at. Shawnee.
Yeah, Shawnee didn't understand Joe McQuillan's decision there. So Darren McCurry going to take this free. Never in any danger of going over the bar, I'm afraid. Well wide. Still level in Newbridge. Level for the third time. Tyrone are going to introduce Kyle Coney, who's a natural corner forward or wing forward, and the player that's going off is Darren McCurry. Kildare introduce Alan Smith, and the player that's gone off is Niall Kelly. Niall did a lot of work, and his work rate is quite impressive, but he lost a lot of ball unnecessarily.
Yeah, that's what brought him down, really. Didn't handle the ball as well as he should have.
Bursting forward is Sean Kavanagh. Over this side is Joe McMahon. Great ball. There's a chance here for Mark Donnelly, and Donnelly takes his point. Really good score by Tyrone. That potential to break down the Kildare defence is always there.
Yeah, it's a nice handy one, and Stephen O'Neill had made a great run to the far post if he had given the early hand pass. O'Neill had that in the back of the net, but point at this stage is a very important score, and that gives them the lead.
Punch down from Aidan Cassidy to Stephen O'Neill. Nice ball. Inside fires Peter Hart. Stephen O'Neill is available to his left. Referee blows his whistle. Feels Kildare were fouling, and that's a free just to the left of the post. Peter Kelly holds his hands up around his ears in exasperation and says that couldn't be a free. It is.
It is a free, no doubt. Putting far too much pressure on the man rather than the ball. And any situation, we'll repeat it, he's carrying the yellow. That's about his third foul since the yellow, so he's right on thin ice.
Sean Kavanagh gets his fourth point of the game, and Tyrone are back in control with 2 points to spare. 19 to 10.
Well, this often happens after the big effort just after half time, the huge effort to make up that 5 points and make a real game of it. You can expend an awful lot of energy, and there can be a lull.
And here come Kildare again. Emmett Bolton laying it off for his Alan Smith. Sean Hurley involved again with the back pass from Johnny Doyle. Floating in for Flaherty. There's a touch from Tomas O'Connor, and the ball is wide. Just for the moment, there was danger for Tyrone, but Tomas O'Connor just couldn't get the vital touch.
Well, it's a danger. He's going for the point. I think that's pretty clear. But of course, the ones that drop short off, Tomas O'Connor gets a touch on that. It nearly has to be in the net, but he misses the contact, and it goes harmlessly wide. Kick out.
Ten minutes left in this round 3 qualifier. Much better, more exciting second half with that comeback by Kildare. But have Tyrone weather the storm. Touch the ball on the ground. Referee spotted it. Free for Kildare. Long ball down towards Tomas Connor. The overlap provided by Morgan O'Flaherty. Good defending by Conor Clark. Sean Kavanagh. Colin McCarran. And Tyrone apparently weathering the storm. Donnelly's pass was a poor one, and the referee's whistle is blown for a frontal charge. Darrell Flynn coming in, flooring his Tyrone opponent, and that's going to be a yellow card, I'm pretty sure, for Darrell Flynn.
Yeah, very similar to the Pádraig O'Neill effort some minutes ago. Leave the ball travel on its own and take out the man, and they're willing to take these yellows for big hits. But the free remains Tyrone's. Yeah, you'll see it here now. Bang. No eyes for the ball there. That's there's contact and a foul.
Sean Kavanagh. 7 yellow cards for Kildare, 1 for Tyrone at the moment, as Kyle Coney sends the ball in towards Stephen O'Neill. And Stephen O'Neill is protesting to the referee that he's being held back. And the referee, Joe McQuillan, is having none of it.
Yeah, I tend to agree with the referee there. Peter Kelly is entitled to stand his ground, and that's what he's doing. Just more power on that occasion. Lets it run wide.
Paddy Brophy losing possession on arrival on the ground. Peter Hart laying it off as Matthew Donnelly. And it's another free for Tyrone.
That's him again, isn't it?
Second yellow for Peter Kelly. And this is going to be a red card. Kildare are down to 14 players. And I'm afraid it was a disaster waiting to happen, because there were several challenges that were a little bit dubious, and eventually it was a second yellow card.
Yeah, he can have no complaint. Now, there wasn't a lot, in fairness to Kieran McGeeney, he took him off. Stevie O'Neill tried to get a different matchup for him. But once you pick up that yellow, and remember, he picked up that yellow, Marty, for dissent all that time ago. And that's the pressure that it brings onto you.
A wonderful comeback by Kildare. Tyrone have reorganised themselves and now find themselves back in front by 3 points. And they have numerical advantage on the field as well. Martin Penrose with his first point of the match.
Yeah,
disappointment for Peter Kelly.
It's advantage Tyrone now, you have to say. They've got the extra man and the 3-point cushion. And they've probably weathered the storm.
So a change in the Kildare attack. This is Owen Doyle from Naas, and the player that's going off is Tomas O'Connor. So a change in the Kildare full forward line. Interesting to see who will go at the edge of the square now. Kick out by Connolly. Lots of breaking ball going Tyrone's way. Aidan Cassidy backfires Peter Hart. Waiting for the arrival again of Joe McMahon. Sean Kavanagh. Kavanagh directing play, telling Mark Donnelly to go in the opposite direction. Conor Gormley. Into the centre comes Mark Donnelly. Quick layoff, quick hands again. Stephen O'Neill. Losing out on this occasion is Sean Hurley. Sean Hurley wins himself a free. Takes it quickly up towards Johnny Doyle, who has taken up the responsibility of playing at the edge of the square. Cathal McCarron. Peter Hart. Joe McMahon again available. Aidan Cassidy. Lots of experience in this Tyrone team. Mark Donnelly. Emmett Bolton in hot pursuit. Still Donnelly. Releases the ball under pressure. Comes back out for his Aidan Cassidy. Kyle Coney is there. So too is Sean Kavanagh. Tyrone will play keep ball for the next, 5-6 minutes if they have to. Ball down towards Martin Penrose. Quick layoff is for centre back Peter Hart. On the run. And what about that? Brilliant play by Tyrone. And a fabulous score by Peter Hart.
Yeah, patience, that was the name of the game there, and got it to Peter Hart, who can be extremely accurate, and that's a great effort.
Kildare challenge seems to be wilting, particularly around the middle of the field. Ball from Joe McMahon, comes down towards Donnelly. O'Neill, Connolly is there, that's available, and this is sent very high and very wide. off the boot of Mark Donnelly. Tyrone have shot 9 wides this evening. Kildare just 1 more. But the most important aspect of any statistics is what's on the scoreboard. It's Tyrone 111, Kildare 10 points with, 3.5 minutes left? Fine catch by Darrell Flynn. And there's a bit of afters going on here. The referee again has blown his whistle. Darrell Flynn and Sean Kavanagh involved in the tussle. And Darrell Flynn has been on a yellow card. Sean Kavanagh is going to be booked. Yellow card for the Tyrone number 9. Still a bit of afters going on between himself and Darrell Flynn. Meanwhile, ball is sent down towards Paul Cribben. Floating this one in, McConnell is sharp, deflects it out for a 45. Testing ball for the keeper. Did well here. Johnny Doyle to take the 45. That is to the left and wide. And the momentum seems to be gone out of the Kilkenny challenge at this stage, with just 2 minutes left in the clock. To Kildare's credit, they showed a lot of heart in this second half.
Well, they did, and they made a great game of it. But in the overall, the more equal contribution has come from Tyrone. It's been more balanced. Okay, they were out of it just after half-time, but they've worked themselves. They didn't panic. Worked themselves very nicely back into the game. And the Stairs now, they certainly look like they're heading for round 4. And that match against Meath, well, they look forward to it very much. They'll have a great chance of winning it.
Changes in the Tyrone attack. Justin McMahon is on for Cathal McCarran, and Conor McAliskey has come on for Stephen O'Neill. Fabulous catch by Aidan Cassidy. Wonderful. Far is Mark Donnelly. Down towards Conor McAliskey. Quick hands again. All the way out far as Aidan Cassidy. Sean Kavanagh. Ball back into the middle of the field. Far as Conor Gormley. Peter Hart. Here comes Matthew Donnelly. And that ball is left and wide. Now, Kevin McStay, as we head towards the final whistle, can you tell us who you think is going to be the Aircom RT man of the match in this third round qualifier?
Yeah, for his hard work and for his big scores, we're going for Matthew Donnelly. We thought he made the greater contribution for Tyrone throughout the game.
Here comes Ona Flaherty. One last attack perhaps for Kildare. Looks around at options, takes his point. It's O'Flaherty's first point in this qualifier. And it's now just one goal again between the teams. Tyrone 111, Kildare 11 points. But the clock says 70 minutes, 24 seconds. 2 minutes of additional time. Is it possible for Kieran McGeeney's team to snatch a late goal and force this match to extra time?
They're going to need the possession, aren't they? That's the big one now. This is everything.
They didn't get it. Sean Kavanagh. Far as Peter Hart. Joe McMahon. Back for his Hart again. Who'll go back for his Sean Kavanagh. He's like a conductor of an orchestra. He's directing everything, telling players who's available.
Go forward!
Dermot Carlin is over there. Has to do a little bit of speed work. Ball sent into the centre. Now, Kildare have one last chance to counter-attack. Sean Hurley taking the Possession into Tyrone territory. Johnny Doyle. Long ball. Just knocked away and out over the sideline by Conor Gormley, but it is the Kildare ball. 71 minutes and 32 seconds played.
He needs to float it across now. And he needs to float it across quickly.
Tension palpable. Will they survive in the championship? Michael Duffy, linesman, having a word with Joe McQuillan for some off-the-ball activity. The only footballer inside the Kildare half of the field at the moment is the Kildare goalkeeper, Shane Connolly. Here comes the cross. The referee says, hold it for 1 second.
He wants to deal with somebody, I believe.
He wants to deal with something that was happening off the ball. He's having a word with Kyle Coney and also with Paul Cribben. Yellow card for the two of them. Now, this is it. Tyrone have one ball to clear and they go through to the next round qualifier against Meath. Kildare have to get a goal out of this. It's dropping in and it's actually gone over the bar.
That was about the last outcome they needed right at the death. Needed to pull that out towards the small rectangle and he actually overdoes it.
Almost 3 minutes of injury time now played. 111 to 12 points. Disappointment, heartbreak for Kieran McGeeney and his team. Pascal McConnell to take the kick out, knowing that surely the referee from Cavan will blow the full-time whistle and it'll be Tyrone against Meath in Croke Park next Saturday evening. Mickey Hart rejoices, acknowledges a very good team performance, and that's exactly what it was. From the throw-in around 7 o'clock, Tyrone always seemed to be in control, always looked to be the better team. Kieran McGeeney takes the commiserations from Mickey Hart, but overall you'd have to say, Kevin McStay, that Tyrone were the better team.
Yeah, as I said, only for that little blip after half-time when Kildare did make a great game of it, no doubt about that. Tyrone were the better team, the more know-how, better execution when they got their chances and looked after the ball a lot tidier than Kildare did, and in the end deserved winners.
Shane Connolly, wonderful penalty save, but at the end of the evening, Matthew Donnelly's goal after 9 minutes, the difference between the teams as Tyrone march on in the championship. Full-time score here in Newbridge, Tyrone 111, Kildare 12 points. Match analysis coming your way right after the break.